Today we're going to take a look at problem solving with histograms slash just interpreting them. So let's take a look at the scenario that we have our histogram in. This histogram shows the distance that several people staying at a resort traveled to get to the resort. Use the data to circle each statement as true or false. Type to explain your choice in the column. So we want to look at each statement, circle true or false, and then explain why. So let's take a look at our first statement. 2% of the resort guests traveled between 0 to 49 miles. So how do I want to figure this out first? I want to figure out my percentage. So I have 2%. Now I want to figure out how many guests stayed here in total. Okay, well, in my 0 to 49, looks like I have 2 people. Okay, because I'm at the halfway mark between 0 and 4. Then from 50 to 99, I have 6. 100 to 149 goes all the way up to 16. 150 to 199 goes all the way up to 10. And then 200 to 249 goes all the way up to 12, to 16, my apologies. So then I want to do that math by adding it all up. So now I'm going to do 2 plus 6, which gives me 8. Then plus 16 gives me 24. Plus 10 gives me 34. Plus 16 gives me 50. So there are 50 resort guests that got surveyed for this. So now I want to figure out what is 2% of that. So there's a couple ways I can do that. I can do 2 people because in my 0 to 49 miles, I have 2 people. When I do that, I do 2 divided by 50. I get 0.44. I mean 0.04. So then I'm going to multiply this by 100. This is going to give me the percentage of guests who traveled from this mileage, and that actually gives me 4%. So is this true? No, this is not true. So what I want to do is put a circle around it, and I'm going to choose for it to be transparent, just like that. That is not true. And then when I'm explaining it, I can just write 2 divided by 50 gives me 4%, not 2%. So now let's take a look at our second statement. Exactly 1/5 of the resort guests traveled between 150 to 199 miles. Well, let's see. I know my total number of guests is 50, so now I want to try doing 10 guests because that is how many traveled between 150 and 199 miles. I have 10 guests divided by 50 guests in total. And I can simplify that down by getting rid of my extra zeros, because I have a 0 in the ones place in both 10 and 50, which gives me 1/5. So this statement is considered true. So I'm going to make a new circle. I'm going to put that around true. And then I can put 10 over 50 is equal to 1/5. Because there were 10 guests from that distance out of 50 guests in total. Now, the last statement says over half of the resort guests traveled between 150 to 249 miles. Is that true or false? Well, let's see how many people came from that distance. what we need to do here is notice this says 150 to 249. So that's going to actually combine two of these columns or bars. So if I add the number of people that traveled 150 to 199 miles to the 200 and to 249 miles, I'm going to do 10 plus 16, which gives me 26. And then I'm going to divide that by 50. The reason I do that is it gives me now a percentage. And remember, when I have half, I'm going to get something that's more than 50%. So when I do 26 divided by 50, I get 0.52. And when I multiply that by 100, I get 52%. So that is also true. Reasoning being, there are 26 guests that travel from that distance. So this is one example of more of a practical application of a histogram. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact your teacher.